In Professional Futures, we have learned how to prepare ourselves for entering the world of work. This has been an invaluable module and has taught us so much about the creative industry both as a whole and behind the scenes in specific positions. We have gained a wealth of knowledge on all things relating to early career development, such as how to begin networking, the importance of using social media as a professional platform, how to reflect on our practice and our industry and how it is evolving, and common pitfalls to avoid. We had the privilege of hearing directly from esteemed professionals from the creative industries on a variety of fascinating topics. Their insights were enlightening and inspiring, and also offering a fantastic opportunity for a bit of networking. This experience served as a great introduction to the wider world of creative professions, broadening our horizons and encouraging engaging discussions. Naturally, for me as a student of creative pattern cutting, the most impactful lecture was that of Lewis Heath, creative pattern cutter at Simone Rocha, a graduate of NTU. His career story was fascinating and gave many pointers on how best to get the first foot on the ladder and what life is like working in different areas of the market from supplier, high street and luxury. Lewis offered a number of encouraging and informative insights, one of the most poignant being that working for companies such as a supplier wouldn't be a hindrance to future aspirations of working elsewhere and can be a great place to start. I have seen jobs for sample cutters or junior garment technologists while looking for pattern cutting job advertisements and hadn't previously saved them in my file, but following Lewis's talk, I'll see them differently. I like to check pattern cutting jobs weekly and save any positions I like the look of, so that when it comes to the time when I'm focusing on job applications, I'll have a good starting point to reach out to companies in hope that they have space for a junior or even just a work placement. Lewis said, "Don't be afraid of working for suppliers or high street brands, no matter where you see yourself later down the line. Any job or experience where you have an opportunity to learn is a good one." It's really great and actionable advice, and I feel really motivated to keep going with all my preparations. Following each of our lectures and seminars, we have kept a blog where we reflect on our key takeaways from each speaker and how the topics impact us in our personal career development. It has been a really interesting way to keep a diary of our progress and findings, and is a practice I mean to continue. I think it will be particularly interesting to look back on in the future and see how I've developed. It may even be interesting for potential employers. This is an extract from my latest post. The Catch-22 situation Lewis described, needing experience to get a job, but needing a job to gain experience, is certainly an issue we will encounter, but is something that can be overcome. So what can a graduate with no experience offer to potential employers? Strong foundational skills and a portfolio that showcases abilities, a determined mindset, someone that is passionate and well-read on their specialism. I think all of these things would give us an edge and a strong chance to be given an opportunity. AI is an inescapable topic currently for anyone, regardless of the industry you come from. Are we going to be replaced by AI? Is AI going to take over? Well, there's one thing that AI is nowhere near being able to do, and that's create physical products that are human tested. AI cannot make clothes. It can't try them on or make alterations. When I asked Lewis his take on how AI is affecting his industry, he said, "AI is only as good as its operator. It's a tool that is only as good as the person who wields it." I couldn't agree more, and it was really encouraging to hear his take on it.
Having a CV that is professional and appealing, showing some character that can help you stand apart from the other applicants is of course key. If an employer is presented with an off-putting CV, it could be thrown out immediately. It has been years since I have changed the format of my CV, and while the old one did serve me well, it was high time for a glow-up. A dull black and white CV was once the generally accepted format, but now people have a lot more creative allowance in terms of format and colour palettes. Whether a profile picture should be added or not is a matter of opinion, but I feel personally that if you have a strong and recent professional photo, add it. I have added my latest information and swapped out the hobbies and interests section for key skills section, listing hard skills and soft skills, including my Instagram, blog and LinkedIn are also new additions. I have had a LinkedIn account since doing my BA over 10 years ago, but I never really used it. However, since doing this module and realising how key it is as a networking tool, I have been working on it and gradually building up my connections as I go. I have already reconnected with a garment technician who was on my BA. Connections like these can prove to be invaluable later on. Using social media, in particular Instagram, to post professional content and as a networking tool is becoming ever more important in competitive industries such as fashion. It enhances visibility, allowing you to showcase your work globally, facilitates networking, aids in personal branding to differentiate yourself, and acts as a dynamic portfolio. While my new Instagram account is a work in progress, it's a start, and I will be continuing to add new content here when I have something interesting to share. I think this could also help in the future for potential employers. My personal branding is also something I'm working on for part of my practice. During my creative pattern cutting MA course, I have been finding my niche, learning about where I see myself within the industry, and how to promote myself as a creative professional. After many considered brand names and logos, I settled on Alice Modvin, Modern Vintage. I have used AI to generate my logo and mood boards and images to use on my website. My entire creative philosophy is centered around using the best combination of new technology and techniques with traditional craftsmanship in harmony. There are too many problems with modern fashion to mention, but in order to make any meaningful change, we need to focus on the main causes of the problem. The main issue is the sheer quantity and speed at which fashion is produced. Fast, disposable, dirty fashion. The antidote to this is slow fashion, to buy garments that were made with quality as a priority. Companies should encourage long-term care and repair of their garments that are not made for a season but as an investment. My brand aspires to set a standard that values quality, sustainability and ethical responsibility over the fast-paced, disposable trends that currently dominate. I have a potentially controversial and unpopular opinion that zero waste should not be marketed as a sustainable practice. As a pattern cutting exercise in creative cutting, yes, it has its merits, but as a practice that will lead to a better industry, in my opinion, our effort could be much better focused elsewhere. Out of all the huge and damaging problems with today's fashion industry, carbon emissions, pollution, drought, unsafe working conditions, to mention a few, yes, landfill is a significant concern, but this is not going to be solved by leaving the offcuts on the garment and changing nothing about the supply line and life expectancy of the garment. This amounts to zero difference on the environmental impact. The same clothes will go to the same landfill sites. The garments use no less fabric for having not been separated with their offcuts, and we have changed ultimately nothing. It's an exercise in blaming the anthill while ignoring the mountain, in my opinion. One of the topics that has come up in all of the lectures and seminars is, of course, the digital revolution. It's a hot topic that everyone in fashion is discussing, and almost everyone has an opinion either for or against it. As Sarah Swindle, Managing Director of Watermelon Creative, said, "We are on the precipice of a great change in our industry. The creative world is an evolving new vision. Embrace it. Enjoy the process. Keep learning." Every aspect of the industry is currently and rapidly undergoing a digital revolution, from enhanced wearable technology to virtual try-ons that redefine the shopping experience. CAD programs being launched that can expedite the process of things that were until recently exclusively manual crafts, not only speeding up the parts of the process but giving access to areas of fashion to people with tech skills. The rise of digital fashion is huge, but if a garment only exists in the metaverse, is it fashion? Or is it a form of digital art? Steffi Fung is a British-Chinese digital fashion artist that creates contents for big brands such as Selfridges, Dell, Xbox, Vogue and Gucci. Her digital creations are a fusion of traditional Chinese aesthetics and modern digital fashion techniques, showcasing a unique blend of past and future. She specializes in designing digital garments and accessories reimagined through the lens of digital technology. Her work extends into the realm of 3D design and animation, creating pieces that exist entirely in virtual spaces. Here's my blog entry about Steffi Fung's lecture. Steffi Fung's lecture was a really inspirational story of how dedication and self-learning can be all you need to become a hugely successful professional creative artist. She is largely self-taught and has spent years owning her craft and learning as much as she can to become an expert in her field and even teaching others by doing online courses. Imposter syndrome is something that is often mentioned by successful people and even students that are trying to make it. I had something of it myself when joining my MA Creative Pattern Cutting course. I thought, am I actually good enough to be able to do this? Is everyone else going to be way ahead of me? Will I be able to do it? Steffi said the key to this is to keep visualizing yourself as who it is you want to be, what strengths and skills you want to have and to gain. Take small steps every day to get closer to that goal. The sophistication of the way she uses Clo and other AI and digital technology is incredible, and it really shows just what can be achieved using technology alone. I asked her, in the cases where your digital designs became physical garments, how were they pattern cut? Did you do it yourself, or did you work with a pattern cutter? I was worried about that Clo alone was enough to make a pattern for a garment without having actual pattern cutting skills, but she put my mind at ease and said that she had it professionally adapted by experienced pattern cutters and that it would not have been possible without them. I was much relieved. AI is threatening to replace so many jobs, especially those which are largely algorithmic. Pattern cutting is such a job. It's based on a set of rules and formulas and is certainly the kind of calculations AI is more than capable of. I've had my worries about this. Some of my questions to Steffi and to Lewis Heath were around this topic, and both answers were greatly reassuring. So where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? What would I like to achieve, and what is it I need to do to get there? I made this vision board many years ago with Photoshop and Illustrator. It's a picture of me living in London as a pattern cutter in a beautifully decorated boho chic apartment, wearing my own dresses and surrounded by cats. The only part I would change for my vision board now is I no longer want to live in London. It's actually now the only place in the UK I wouldn't want to live, but essentially my future vision hasn't changed at all. In 5 to 10 years, I will have maybe my second or third pattern cutting job in a company that aligns with my own values of slow fashion and timeless design. I will have learned a wealth of new skills in pattern cutting and garment construction, and have made a lot of great connections with people across different areas of the creative industries. What are my ongoing goals? Learning and self-development is an ongoing process, not least in regards to getting to grips with the latest technology and continuing to learn new skills and methods to add ever more tools to one's belt. Learning is never complete. It's really important for anyone looking to continue to grow not to forget to read. The internet is fantastic, but it will never replace books. A book a month is the minimum. Reach out to anyone that could help me or be helped by me in the future. You can never know too many people. I aspire to grow my network and continue to be surrounded by people that inspire me. Continue to level up my critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Question everything, take nothing at face value, and continue to reflect on the wider impacts of what is happening around me. As I wrap up this reflection on some of the key points that have arisen throughout this unit and my own journey through the world of fashion and creative arts, I'm filled with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. The path ahead is not just about embracing the challenges and uncertainties of a rapidly evolving industry, but also about seizing every opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute meaningfully to the world of fashion, whether it's through mastering new technologies, engaging with the community, or advocating for sustainable practices. With a focus on creativity, resilience, and the invaluable insights from my mentors and peers, I'm ready to tackle the challenges ahead. Here's to forging a path that not only meets our professional aspirations, but also contributes to a more thoughtful and innovative fashion landscape.